So welcome to the 2025 Construction Conundrum, and today we're going to dive deep into the world of tariffs, new construction, and what it all means for you. So buckle up because this journey is going to be a wild ride through the twists and turns of the construction industry. And I want to kick things off with a little bombshell. You may or may not have heard that President Trump's recent announcements of new tariffs could shake the very foundation of the construction industry. Now, we're talking about a potential 25% tariff on goods from Mexico, Canada, and an additional 10% on the Chinese imports. What does it all really mean for new construction in 2025? Break it down. As you can see here, a staggering 46% of all U.S. construction materials come from China, Canada, and Mexico. That's nearly half of all the materials used in building our homes, offices, and infrastructure. So let's look at the current tariffs versus the proposed ones. For Canadian lumber, for instance, we're already dealing with the 14.5% tariff. But with Trump's new policy, that could skyrocket to over 39%. That is a massive jump, and that could send shockwaves through the whole entire new construction industry. But it's not just lumber. Let's talk about gypsum, which is the key ingredient in drywall. Well, 71% of our lime and gypsum imports, which are valued at $352 million, well, they come from Mexico. And can you imagine the impact on your walls if those costs suddenly spike? Yikes. The National Association of Home Builders estimates these new tariffs could raise construction material costs by a whopping $3 to $4 billion. That's billion with a B. Now you might be thinking, sure, but how does this all affect me? Well, let me tell you, it's not just big developers who are going to feel this pinch. These increased costs, they're going to likely trickle down to you, the consumer, in the form of higher home prices. And speaking of home prices, let's zoom in on Texas, the lone star of new construction. Texas has been leading the nation in new home construction, accounting for a whopping 15% of national permits for new houses in 2024. But here's the kicker. While 51% of Texas residents earn less than $75,000 annually, they can only afford 17% of available houses. Even those earning up to $150,000 a year can only afford 66% of the available inventory. That's nuts. The Texan construction boom has been attracting out-of-state builders like bees to honey. Companies like Drees Homes from Kentucky and McKinley Homes from Georgia are all expanding their operations here to the Lone Star State. Now, I know I've thrown a lot of numbers out at you, so let's take a quick breather and recap what we've learned so far. Number one, Trump's proposed tariffs could significantly increase construction cost. Number two, lumber and gypsum are both key materials in home building, will be heavily impacted. Number three, Texas leads in new construction, but faces affordability challenges. And number four, out-of-state builders are expanding to Texas, but tariffs could change the game altogether. But wait, there's more. Now we'll dive deeper into how these tariffs could reshape the national new construction market and what it specifically means for the state of Texas. And as you can see here, experts are predicting a potential slowdown in new project starts. The uncertainty surrounding material cost is making developers think twice before breaking ground. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Some industry insiders believe this could lead to increased efficiency and innovation in the construction methods. The Lone Star State has been riding high on a home building boom, but could these tariffs burst its bubble? Texas has been the #1 state for new building permits for privately owned housing units. But here's the catch. The state's population is growing faster than the housing can be built. Now, this housing shortage is particularly acute for middle and lower income earners. In fact, Texas is short by an estimated 306,000 homes. And sure, the clock is ticking for Texas to address this shortage, but will the new tariffs make it harder to close the gap? Now, let's talk about affordability. Despite being relatively affordable compared to the national averages, Texas is facing its own affordability crisis. While 47.5% of houses for sale in Texas last year were priced at $350,000 or below, you compare that to 40.1% nationwide, there is still a significant mismatch between housing prices and income distribution. So how do all these pieces fit together? The tariffs, the housing shortage, the affordability crisis, it's a complex puzzle that builders, buyers, and policymakers are all trying to solve and come together. So let's talk about diversification. With tariffs potentially making some materials more expensive, builders are looking at alternative sources and materials. Some companies are even exploring innovative building techniques that use less traditional materials. Let's take a look at one such project, which is 3D printing of a house. But it's not just about materials. The labor market is another crucial factor. With stricter immigration policies that are expected under the new Trump administration, the construction industry, which relies heavily on immigrant labor, could face workforce shortages. To address this, many companies are investing in workforce development programs and exploring automation technologies. Now let's talk finance. With the uncertainty around interest rates, businesses are getting creative with their whole entire funding strategies. Some companies are prioritizing cash flow management, while others are exploring alternative funding options to reduce dependency on traditional loans. But what about the average home buyer? How can they navigate this changing landscape? Experts suggest considering factors beyond just the purchase price. With potential increases in material cost, it's more important than ever to factor in long-term maintenance and energy efficiency in that home purchase. And for those in Texas, it's crucial to keep an eye on property taxes and homeowners insurance premiums, which are key factors affecting affordability in the state. And as we wrap up our deep dive into the 2025 construction landscape, let's recap the key takeaways. Trump's proposed tariffs could significantly impact construction costs. The effects will vary by region, with states like Texas facing unique challenges. Innovation in materials and construction methods could help offset some of those cost increases. Workforce development and alternative financing are becoming increasingly important. And lastly, home buyers need to consider long-term costs more than ever before. While the road ahead may be challenging, the construction industry has always been one of innovation and resilience. As we've seen today, there are already creative solutions emerging to address these key challenges. So whether you're a builder or a buyer or just someone interested in new construction, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay adaptable, and together we're going to build a stronger future. So I hope you got value out of this video. If you have any additional questions about real estate or new construction specifically, don't hesitate to reach out to my team directly. Information is in the description below. We are here to help you navigate these challenging times with real estate and anything new construction. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.